Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red this Wednesday morning, and rather a drizzly, rainy morning, I think. But there was brightness on the horizon. Luke chapter 6, verse 27. But I say to you who hear, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. So having passed out a load of woes, he now says the opposite side of this group are the people that do hear. So he says, I say to you who hear. That's those who are prepared to buy in to my manifesto. Those who are willing to listen to me and obey who I am and what I say. Jesus is saying, to those who hear, I want to give you some instructions as to how things are to be for you in the future. In the past, it may have been different, but now Jesus says, to those who hear, I say to you. And whenever Jesus says to us, and he says, I say to you, he's referring to the fact that God has instructed him to say to us, meaning that it's God himself who's saying what he's going to say. So when he says, I say to you, he's saying, I am, ego, I, me, God, Father, Almighty God. He's saying to you, and then he says what he says. And in this case, he says, I say to you, those who do hear, love your enemies. Love your enemies. Wow. How can you love your enemy? The reality of love is to prefer. How can you prefer your enemy, the enemy that is against you, whether it's physically or verbally? How can you prefer your enemy, love your enemy, pursue your enemy's well-being over yours? How can that be possible? It can't be in the natural. In the natural as it relates to our old nature, it's impossible for us to surrender that aspect of our perspectives to our enemy, because they're our enemy. So how can we love our enemy, prefer our enemy's perspective, desire what our enemy wants over what we want? And yet here, Jesus is saying, those who hear, I say to you, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Do good to those who hate you. How can you do good to those who hate you? It's impossible. Jesus, you're asking too much, even of those who have chosen to surrender themselves to you. How can you do good to those who hate you? And yet here Jesus says, do good to those who hate you. So those who hear are a quality people because they've already come to a place where they're willing to do what God says. And then he starts giving them the manifesto. And the reality of these things that he's asking of us is so great. It's impossible for sinful human beings to fulfill that responsibility. But there you have it. Jesus says it. Let's see what happens in the tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Be blessed. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.